The third-party threat is often seen as a danger for Democrats leading up to a presidential election. But could an independent be a spoiler for the GOP in 2024? Recent polls, including this one from just 2 weeks ago, have shown an increase in independent voters opting to support RFK Jr., which appears to have the Trump campaign worried. The former president lashing out at RFK over the weekend in a series of social media posts, calling him a, quote, wasted protest vote. Kennedy then firing back, challenging Trump to debate him on stage. Washington correspondent Joe Khalil is live. And Joe, the Trump team may be showing their hand just a bit here.
Yeah, it's pretty clear. Robert F. Kennedy Jr. is in the head of Donald Trump at the moment, and we know that because the attacks from Trump against RFK have gotten sharper and sharper. Over the weekend, you referenced one, not just calling him a wasted protest vote, but Donald Trump also called RFK a Democrat plant. And in response, RFK is saying, let's debate one-on-one, which is probably unlikely. But in his response, RFK went on to say, quote, when frightened men take to social media, they risk descending into vitriol, which makes them sound unhinged. President Trump's rant against me is a barely coherent barrage of wild and inaccurate claims that should be best resolved in the American tradition of presidential debate. Now, Trump may very well have good reason to fear and go after RFK Jr. Recent polling shows Trump with a very narrow lead over President Biden, 1 to 3 or 4 points, depending on which poll, nationwide and in most battleground states. But take a look at what happens to these numbers once you throw RFK Jr. and others in the mix. All of a sudden, Trump's lead goes away, and it's actually President Biden with a 2-point lead. And the reason that that happens is because more likely Trump voters switched over to RFK than likely Biden voters did, by a near 2-to-1 margin there. Obviously, the Trump campaign paying attention to that. And by the way, this isn't just one way. The Biden campaign also very much aware of the threat that RFK Jr. poses to them as well. The campaign has hired full-time staffers for the sole purpose of going after RFK Jr., attacking him and sort of drawing this contrast between President Biden and RFK Jr., between the Democratic Party values they say Joe Biden holds and the values that RFK holds, which they argue are not the same. So it may not be the case that RFK has enough support to win, certainly not by a long shot, but clearly he's drawing enough support to potentially be a spoiler, not just for President Biden, but seemingly President Trump as well, and both campaigns now paying very close attention.
Absolutely. But in order for him to be a threat, obviously he needs to be on the ballot. I know he was answering questions over the weekend about some of his challenges getting on the ballot in all of the states. What did he say?
Yeah, and people may not realize at home, it is a lot of work and challenge just to get your name on a ballot. You don't just sign up. You need tens of thousands of signatures. You also need potentially millions of dollars for campaign to hire people to get your name on the ballot. So RFK Jr. now says he is on the ballot so far in 9 states. He's working on New York State, which would be his next one. His campaign says he's going to get there. He's also been able to use minor parties that most people at home probably never have heard of as a vehicle for him to get on the ballot in certain states, like in Michigan. So that may be confusing to people, but he's trying to find different ways to get his ballot access. And again, his campaign says he's on the way to 50 in real terms, and maybe a lot harder than they anticipate.
All right, Joe Khalil, live for us there in D.C. Thank you. Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find News Nation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of News Nation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.